So I made this character, his name is Little Purple Guy, and I made him one random day when I didn't know what to animate and put random blobs of colors down to move around. That's how I made this animation. It was one of the first animations I completed all the way and was very happy with. Then I decided to actually solidify making this fella a character by naming him and putting him up on Artfight. I was happy with him and actually had a character that I designed alongside Stally. I especially loved the way Candy drew him in her attacks. Fast forward to the fall. With this last fall, I needed something to animate for an animation class I was taking. And what better thing to animate than my very simple little guy? This is a super simple design. His design is super simple and easy, so I shouldn't have a problem animating it. And then I made this animation for my final. The full thing's on my channel. However, it was during the process of this animation that I realized something very important. I didn't know how to draw a Little Purple Guy. What? How did that even happen? Every frame had an entirely different shape of a character, which wasn't right at all. Yes, he's slimy, so his form is gonna change as he moves, and animation has a lot of frames that portray motion and won't look the same as the character would just standing still. But he's still supposed to have a consistent shape, but I couldn't put it together. What was even his shape? I'm looking back on my drawings of him for the references that I was using, and there's not really a clear shape here. I didn't use line art when drawing him most of the time, so his body is just kind of squiggly, and there's no right number of squiggles or how tall or wide he should be. And his head, what is the shape of his head? Does he have like a snout or a flat face that's rounded, or do the eyes pop out like they have volume or no? Is the head sharp? Like this weird thing on the end that how does that look from the side? Is it more round or triangular? Does it span the whole head like a big disc, or is it like stop? Is there a forehead? Is the triangle thing on one side of the head or somehow on both? What shape are the eyes? Are they full consistent circles like I have in this animation? Or are they more squiggly like I did in some of the reference pictures? I've kind of lost the plot, guys. Well, Little Purple Guy's design is technically very simple, but it wasn't easy to animate because I didn't understand what I was even animating. So I decided to ask Candy for some help with understanding how she drew, which is a really funny thing to say because I'm the one that made the character. I really liked the way she drew him, and the way she draws is the way I imagine it in my head. So I asked her to help me out with the shapes and sort of with the structure that she uses. She showed me her process, which was you start with a circle and the face guidelines, and then you put a triangle on a fourth of the face, going up slightly, if that makes any sense. And then she put the eyes slightly under the line that was there for the horizontal part of the face. She showed me different ways you can try and stylize it, like to make it more angular or more rounded, and it was really cool. She's super awesome. Thank you, Candy. With that in mind, I decided to sketch out what Little Purple Guy might look like using those guidelines to try and figure out how I wanted to draw the character consistently, in a way that I intend them to be that way. These are the sketch pages that are mostly from all the front, just to give the idea that I could draw the same shape consistently, and then I go on to draw from different angles. The next animation I did was the one I put on Valentine's Day, including Little Purple Guy and Stally, and in that animation I was a lot more confident with how I was able to draw Little Purple Guy, and I even did a little turnaround animation of him during the chorus. So as of right now, I'm still designing some parts of how I want him to be portrayed, especially with the speech bubbles and what I want to have in them. But I have a way better grasp of my own character, and I'm hoping to do more animations of him soon. Yeah, that's it. I literally had to learn to draw my own character because I didn't know how to design a character in a 3D setting and then move it